So much of this article is talking about the making of Ahsoka, about what the show is, what it's about how rich all these characters were and their motivations and their ethos and where they are emotionally. And you get that revelation that Dave Filoni is the CCO of Lucasfilm now. But Kason, what if I told you
Oh, no.
that one of the great entertainment journalists of our time, one Dictor Van Doomcock, had a different takeaway? Hello, everybody. Welcome to Knowledge Fight. Kason, would you like to watch a Doomcock video with me?
Sure.
I have this sped up, don't worry.
Blatantly adult humor.
About YouTube unsubscribing many of you without your permission. You good people have rallied, and I've gotten back thousands.
So I just want to stop here immediately. Doomcock, for as long as I have checked up on him and his content, and I using content in a derogatory sense,
And his content.
He has always done this thing where he's claiming that thousands of his subscribers have been unsubscribed from his channel without their knowledge or say so.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
like
we'll
YouTube's
then
doing
say,
subscriber cleanouts or some shit.
Yeah, and will then claim, now that I brought it up, people have resubscribed. I cannot tell you the amount of times I have heard Alex fucking Jones say something almost identical to this. Like, and again, this is the thing. And I know I prattle on and on about the fandom menace. The reason I do is that the language they use is no different from the way that the actual lunatic right-wing grifters talk about real-world shit.
Yes.
It is all the same playbook.
Yes.
And I want to get in the weeds here a little bit and unpack the fandom menace version of this story.
All right, fair enough.
For those of you at home not watching and listening to this episode, the title is Dave Filoni promoted to Chief Creative Officer at Lucasfilm after Ahsoka? God help us all.
God help us all.
That said, and help us in our base at the center of the earth. And sometimes the irony is so thick it makes your head spin. Yesterday, we got news out of Lucasfilm that Dave Filoni, following a stellar turn, creating some of the bestest Star Wars ever. And yes, I almost strangled all those words as I spoke them. Following his first season of Ahsoka, Dave Filoni has been promoted to Chief Creative Officer at Lucasfilm.
Chief Creative Officer of Lucasfilm, eh? Does that mean Lucasfilm is going to be creative now?
You saw Ahsoka. What do you think?
We're screwed. Ahsoka was like taking a nap beneath the world's most boring tree, in the world's most boring field of dull grass, being half-heartedly pelted with member berries by Perry Como on Ambien.
You just can't make this crap up.
So, couple terms I gotta hip you to here. The term bestest ever is I don't want to say dog.
Are they hating on my boy Jar Jar?
No, it's nothing to do with Jar Jar.
Okay.
Anytime.
I was about to say, if we're hating on Jar Jar, I'm out.
Anytime there's a woman in something, and I'm not being hyperbolic, anytime there's a woman in a thing, he does this weird effeminate, it's the bestest ever, to imply that its only merit is that there's a woman. Whenever Doomcock
We
is
hate it.
doing the buckle the fuck, there's a reason why I am drinking straight whiskey right now. Whenever Doomcock will do the, nonsense like Rey Skywalker is a Mary Sue, it's always Rey who is the bestest Jedi ever. It's A meant to
Yeah.
it's A meant to imply this like level of adolescent enjoyment of anything to do with a woman in like current nerd media. And also like it also comes with this really demeaning, like, this is the only level at which women can engage with this media. So you get all this weird like implied baggage. And that's why I dance around the term dog whistle, because like it's clearly meant to mean it's bad because woman.
Yeah. Because they do that. Sorry, I'm
I was
changing.
going to say, I thought you were turning the light red because you were fully turning to the dark side watching this.
Yeah, I'm actually about to do that. I'm just throwing a rave real quick. Don't mind me.
I mean, if you like Ahsoka, you probably like this news. But then again, if you like Ahsoka, you probably need therapy. You need to watch shows like The Expanse, One Piece, X-Files, Battlestar Galactica, Banshee, or original Star Trek to remind you of how good TV shows can be. My God, people, older shows like X-Files or Star Trek wouldn't wait 4 episodes into the series to try to get you hooked. They'd hook your ass in 3 minutes. Set up the conflict of a situation, compel you to watch through the credits and the commercials, and at the end of every act, you'd get another big cliffhanger plot point that would engage your interest enough to make you not change the channel. And that was in the 60s and 90s when people's attention spans were crippled down to about 7 seconds thanks to social media.
So aside from the boomer phones bad,
Yeah.
Casey, you know what almost every single one of those shows have in common?
Woman bad.
Not just woman bad. Every specifically X-Files and Star Trek, Adventure of the Week shows.
Oh.
So we're going to take a show that is not episodic in nature, that is not meant to be like, here's an adventure in a can.
Right.
We're gonna take this show that is designed to tell one overarching story. Now, again, there are plenty of people who weren't in love with Ahsoka's pacing. There are plenty of people I respect who like their biggest gripe was like, I didn't really fall in love until episode 4 or 5. Fair. Why are we comparing this show that is so serialized to shows that are famous for like set up action, here's the thing, oh my god, we solved the thing, credits? Like
yeah, apples and oranges.
It's apples and oranges.
Yeah.
Oh, wrong button.
I myself have an excellent attention span, raised as I was in better times when I read books instead of mind-numbing tweets. But even I struggled like Sisyphus pushing a rock up a mountain with a cactus shoved up his ass to get through Ahsoka. It was so badly made, so god-awful boring. I was squirming in my chair and sometimes hitting myself out of frustration, just trying to stay awake. Rolling my eyes as Ahsoka would cross her arms, take a 4-second pause, and then deliver a line as fascinating as a slice of white bread on a paper plate at a church social. I mean,
if it was a dude, they wouldn't have this problem.
Come on, people. My mind is just reeling with, I don't know, a kind of stunned and outraged disbelief that Dave Filoni, after making Ahsoka, is promoted to Chief Creative Officer of Lucasfilm. What the fuck does that even mean? How can Dave be in charge of creativity at Lucasfilm when there is no creativity at Lucasfilm? What's next? Carrie Beck is going to be Chief Unicorn Officer, in charge of the non-existent herds of unicorns that roam the Lucasfilm grounds, farting on all the leprechauns and turning them into smelly little rainbows.
This is the zenith of comedy, folks. It doesn't get funnier than this. Huh?
How many views does this have?
Do you really want the answer to that question?
I mean, I know I'm gonna be mad about it either way, but like,
So Doomcock is sitting at 330,000 subscribers. And this video has a view count of 75,000.
first,
Okay.
like, I don't know. I don't understand. This is just one of those things where, like, I'm watching it and I'm like, how does this dude? How does this?
Well,
How
you
does this
see,
dude?
Kason, when you go, woman bad, racist dog whistle, fart joke, that's the quality
That dude.
content.
That's literally what this is.
I made a joke to Kason before we started that I may have relapsed with a bad behavior. And it was that, and I don't want to use that term jokingly. I only say it because there may or may not have been a playful intervention at one point where a number of people were like, Jared, you need to stop watching this shit. You need to stop hate watching this shit.
Like,
Now,
yeah, dude, like hate watching is fine for a little bit, but then it gets to the point where you're like, hey, every time they upload something, you're like, did you see this shit? It's like, no, I didn't. I haven't been looking for it. Now it seems like you might be.
But yeah, and again, I want everybody to remember that like 2 years ago, Dave Filoni was the fucking chosen one.
Yes,
George
even to
Lucas's
the Star Wars bro
prodigy.
dudes.
George Lucas's prodigy.
We've been on that train.
Yeah, because he is Lucas's Padawan.
Right. But we're not hopping off now because he's incorporating women into things.
No. But literally all it took was a show that was mostly led by women of color.
Yeah.
And
the bro dudes were like, it's terrible. He's ruining it.
Again, I just want everybody to remember back to Captain Marvel. When that movie came out, what was the thing chanted from on high? Carol Danvers is unlikable. She's dry. She's snarky. She's an asshole. Minus the vagina, you just described Tony Stark. What is the refrain from these assholes? Every time something comes out in the MCU they don't like, I can't believe Tony Stark died for this.
Yeah.
Like, until you can prove to me that it's not just because it's a chick, shit like, until she crosses her arms and delivers a line after a 4-second pause. You mean like Vader?
Yeah. Dude, like, okay, listen. If we got, I mean, obviously I know it's not going to happen because she's Legends, but like if we had like Mara Jade, for example, in like a live action movie or something like that. Let's say we get Mara Jade in, not in Rogue One, obviously, but like in similar circumstances to Vader in Rogue One, where he says, I hope you don't choke on your aspirations. Like if you get Mara Jade delivering that line after she just like grips someone up with the Force, like I'd be like, oh, I'd shit a brick. I would be like, that was so cold. That was so cool. But I feel like these dudes would be like, it's a bad joke because it's a woman.
If a character like Mara Jade were introduced today, I say this having read Heir to the Empire this year, Mara Jade consistently outthinks, outstrategizes, outfights and outmaneuvers Luke Skywalker throughout that entire fucking book. Mara Jade is the low man on totem pole for Talon Karrde's whole criminal empire. And she's telling Talon Karrde what's up. If these motherfuckers got Mara Jade just completely as is from Legends, they'd lose their minds. And you know why? Because to them, Mara Jade is not this morally complex dark Jedi who is just as capable, if not Luke Skywalker superior. There's a whole book where Mara Jade's like, yeah, I was sent to Jabba's palace because the Emperor knew what you were doing to free Han. I was sent there to intercept you and kill your ass. And if I were on that skiff, if I didn't get stuck in the palace when they sent you to the Sarlacc pit, I'd have fucking killed you above the pit of Carcoon. But they would have lost their minds for that, because to them, Mara Jade is this hot redhead in a skin-tight leather outfit with her tits cinched up to her neck. And because they can jerk off to all the bizarre Rule 34 art of Mara Jade on Reddit and 4chan, they love her. Oh, I love female Star Wars characters. Rey Palpatine's just a Mary Sue. Mara Jade was the Emperor's secret apprentice. You think Starkiller's edgy? You think Starkiller's edgy? Mara Jade was the Emperor's hand. A secret assassin that, like, could have held her own against Vader if it came down to it. And you want to look me in my eyes and tell me that if that same exact dynamic were introduced today, unchanged, unaltered to fit into the new canon, just copy, paste Legends to canon, people wouldn't lose their fucking minds.
They would.
Damn it. I keep the cursors on the wrong screen.
At least Filoni will be better than Kathleen Kennedy.
Au contraire, Harvey Cthulhu.
I don't know what au contraire means.
It's French for fuck no. Dave himself laid it all out in a well-timed Vanity Fair interview that extinguished all hope for better Star Wars moving forward. They just published an article titled, Star Wars Undertakes Universe-Shaking Changes After Ahsoka.
Undertakes. That's a good choice of words. Dave Filoni is now the official Star Wars Undertaker. Rest in peace, Star Wars.
You said it, Skull.
I just want to say real quick, I haven't watched a Doomcock in like almost over a year. I'm almost a year clean on Phantom Menace.
Proud of you.
Thank you. It's not gonna last. The last time I watched, the fucking skull in a jar wasn't a thing. Like the fucking My Little Pony jar with the skull in it didn't exist.
Dude, okay,
it was just Doomcock and Harvey Cthulhu. And I hate that I know its name.
Okay, listen, I thought he just said Hardy Cthulhu, and I was like, Hardy Cthulhu.
Harvey Cthulhu. And that, it's, okay. I know you've heard me talk about this. I've talked about it before. Whenever Ye went on InfoWars, there was that like bizarre thing where he brought the fishing net and the bottle of Yoo-Hoo, and it was like, it's a net and Yoo-Hoo. And would like occasionally be like, and he'd be like, what do you think, Nettin? And he'd hold it up and he'd be like, I think that Jewish people are putting porn on Instagram so that Ye can't see his family no more. They do shit like that, right? And I was like, this is bizarre, this is terrible, and it's fucking hilarious. I think I thought Netanyahu was so funny in a heinous way because the precedent set was toilet-shaped Dr. Doom mask and Harvey fucking Cthulhu.
Yeah.
And now now piss jar skull.
Calderon. In this article, Dave Filoni pretty much asserts that he's working right alongside Carrie Beck and Kathleen Kennedy. But then again, watching the gynocentric Lilith fest that was Ahsoka, we already knew that, didn't we? Watching Ahsoka was like watching a girl's slumber party with cosplay, space whales, and no popcorn, while Justin Bieber plays in the background, making swinging from a rafter by a rope seem like a sweet release. In their
It's 2023. And this man who dresses up in that costume full time
Okay, that's yeah, we're gonna circle back to that.
thinks that a joke about teenage girls love Justin Bieber and it's bad because of it is a good joke. And
Yeah.
almost 750,000 people agreed. Damn it.
I
their
just
article, Vanity Fair
the
writes, quote,
the amount of production and shit. Yeah, the amount of shit that goes into this.
And shit being the operative word.
Dude, like it. Okay, so my thing is when you came to
I'm gonna
me
make you
and was-
stare into his dead fucking eyes while you talk for a
Yeah,
little
dude.
bit.
So like my thing is like when you came to me and you were like, "Hey, Kason, do you want to, be part-time on the podcast and talk about like Mando stuff and Ahsoka stuff and everything?" I was like, I don't think I'm exactly qualified for that, but like that should be cool.
I see where this is going.
Dude, I just the fact that this dude was like, let me get a seemingly Washington Commanders colored Michael Jackson Black Parade marching band jacket and a somehow a Dr. Doom mask that is somehow shaped like both a toilet and a penis at the same time.
I think it's intentional because his name is Doomcock.
Is it actually Doomcock? Is that like his actual thing that he goes by?
Dictor Van Doomcock.
I hate him. I hate him. I hate the whole thing. Like like this dude. First of all, like I said, he picked the costume. What the fuck are we doing here? Second of all, why is stuffed Harvey Cthulhu your co-host? And who the fuck is My Little Pony skull in the piss jar? And how did he also become a co-host? Also the fact that
why do so many people think this is good?
Yes. Why do so many people think this is good? But also with the background, like I can't tell if he is trying to be a Power Ranger or if he is in the Undercity in World of Warcraft. I can't tell.
He's in his secret lair in the center of the universe. Direct quote. If that helps.
If that helps. Oh, I hate him. And 330,000 people get notifications that this man uploads this thing. 330,000 people get it. 330,000 people are told when this man uploads a video. That's insanity.
Oh, do you want something more depressing?
Oh,
When I went to pull up this video, he was live.
oh Jesus. I can't even imagine what he does on live streams.
He's still live.
Oh, go boy.
So he's live with his like live podcast show called Pop Culture Breakdown. The title is Doctor Who is Dead. Feige's job on the line. Wish bombs. The thumbnail is David Tennant's doctor with like a no symbol over his crotch and a pride flag colored TARDIS.
What? No,
And one
David
of the-
Tennant Dick gay phone booth.
And when I was when I put the stream on out of morbid curiosity before we started, one of the highlighted comments, minor content warning here. One of the highlighted comments was a portmanteau of the R slur and TARDIS with a bunch of transphobic comments all around it.
Yeah, that checks out.
Just so we're clear on the fucking fan base for this live stream that started several hours ago and is currently clocking in at 870 people watching live. His most recent episode of Pop Culture Breakdown okay, so this has okay, so I'm looking at like the live tab. Hold on, let me look here. I'm trying to find like an episode of Pop Culture Breakdown to be fair here and like compare. I'm not seeing one. Maybe he archives the stream somewhere else. But the most recent one before that, before the one that's happening right now, 10 months ago, a happy hour with Critical Drinker, 171,000 views.
That's insane. I mean, like Andrew Tate gets views too, and I don't understand why. It's like this is dumb. Like the Doomcock thing, IMO, is dumb. Because like the whole production is just like it's just insane to me that this dude goes through this much and puts this much into this.
You know what my favorite part is about Doomcock?
What's that?
I want to know why the top of the helmet is so scuffed.
Yeah.
And I just want to call attention to something for our audio listeners. We are 5 minutes and 35 seconds into a 12-minute and 45-second video.
And we've been on this for...
He has not said a word about the actual contents of the article.
Yeah.
All he has said is Dave Filoni is CCO, Ahsoka bad, fart joke, make me a sandwich. What do you think, Piss Jar Skeleton and Harvey Cthulhu? We are almost halfway through. And he has not said jack rib shit about anything.
Dave Filoni has a new mission in the Star Wars universe after guiding Rosario Dawson's force-wielding hero to distant celestial realms in the first season of Ahsoka. The writer, producer, director, who started out working alongside George Lucas on the animated Clone Wars show nearly 2 decades ago, has ascended to a new position at Lucasfilm, one that will give him input into all the galactic storytelling going forward. Now I'm what's called Chief Creative Officer of Lucasfilm, Filoni tells Vanity Fair, which places him into the development process much earlier and in a much more expansive capacity than his previous advisory duties. In the past, in a lot of projects I would be brought into, I would see it after it had already developed a good ways.
Disney Plus shows never developed in good ways, only bad ways. Not a good start to your interview, Dave.
He'll stick the landing, Harvey.
Yes, right up our asses. Fortunately, in that regard, I have nothing to worry about, unless he finds it.
This article continues.
I would have thought something this level of humor, but not like a dog whistle fest, was funny when I was 13. And by the time I was 15, I'd be trying to scrub the memory of everybody I knew that I watched that.
Yes.
It was quote. Filoni will now work more directly with Lucasfilm.
I prefer Doug and the sock puppet from Screen Crush. instead of Harvey Cthulhu and Jar Skull.
Do you mean Nostalgia Critic?
No, from Screen Crush.
I haven't seen a lot of Screen
Ryan
Crush, so I'm
Airy?
not sure.
Yeah, no, Ryan Airy on his Screen Crush videos, he always has his dog Doug with him. Doug's great, cute little guy. And then there's always, whenever they do, he's always in their ads, is the little sock puppet guy. So like whenever there's like they do like a VPN ad, it would be like he comes in as the sock puppet, and he's like, "Hey, whatever, this person just sent me a message and wants to do this, whatever." And then Ryan's like, "I don't know, I don't think you should do that, dude." And he's like, "Well, I just did," and then comes back like later in the video, and he's like, "Oh, Ryan, you were right, I got scammed." And then Ryan's like, "Huh, little sock puppet guy, you should have used NordVPN." But yeah, I prefer Doug the dog and Ryan Airy's sock puppet very much so over
Harvey Cthulhu and
over
Piss Jar
Jar
Skull.
Skull. Yeah.
President Kathleen Kennedy, and alongside Carrie Beck, a veteran producer turned head of development to originate and shepherd the new generation of Star Wars shows and movies, unquote.
And verily, there was much jubilation in the kingdom as Star Wars fans took to the streets and danced like in an episode of Pop Rock, happy like little girls. And that last bit was so sarcastic. It tasted like fucking asparagus.
Oh, I could smell it all the way over here, Harvey Cthulhu.
I just want to make it clear. They literally
This
make
guy
a
doesn't
joke
eat his
about.
vegetables.
Watch it again. Watch it again. Harvey Cthulhu pisses his tank.
To the streets and danced like in an episode of Pop Rock, happy like little girls. And that last bit was so sarcastic. It tasted like fucking asparagus.
Oh, I could smell it all the way over here, Harvey Cthulhu.
He had to make the tank green in post to make a joke about the squid guy pissing the tank. We are 7 minutes and 30 seconds into this video. And Dictor Van Doomfuck has gotten
What's that, one paragraph?
a paragraph
paragraphs?
and a half. Well, he skipped the second paragraph, so he went on to the third one, but he got halfway through the third one. We are not even 2 paragraphs in toto read from this article. Disgust. And the video's almost over.
Of his new role at Lucasfilm, Dave says, quote, "I'm not telling people what to do," Filoni says, "but I do feel I'm trying to help them tell the best story that they want to tell. I need to be a help across the galaxy here, like a part of a Jedi Council almost." He described his responsibilities as understanding the intent of the filmmakers and being a resource to them, based on his mentorship under Lucas himself and his years spent steering the Clone Wars, Rebels, and Ahsoka. "Literally hours now of Star Wars storytelling I have done," he said, before pausing to rethink his syntax. "See, I even phrased that like Yoda," unquote.
Oh, sweet release. Back into the piss tank.
Yeah. Look, here's the deal, Dave. God knows I've been fair and open when it comes to Disney Star Wars. I've been so fair and open, people at times have accused me, the future ruler of Earth, of being a shill. But they also accuse me daily of being a hater, so you can't win, can you? I always knew that Disney Star Wars sucked, but I knew that there were good people behind the...
I've always given Disney Star Wars a fair shake. I've always known Disney Star Wars sucked.
scenes trying their best to make good Star Wars under the corrupting influence of Kathleen Kennedy, and I counted Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni among those forces for good. I still believe that Jon Favreau is trying his best, but he's been thwarted and interfered with at every turn. Kennedy evidently hated his success with The Mandalorian, and so she allegedly did shit, like work to get Gina Carano fired, thus totally fucking up John's plans for Rangers of the New Republic, which would star Gina. Kennedy allegedly worked to get the horrible space message shoved into Book of Boba Fett, driving Favreau insane for a brief period, and that really sucked along and hard. Kennedy helped make sure to completely torpedo Favreau's brilliant plot to have Grogu train with Luke Skywalker. John knows what works, and he had set things up brilliantly.
So
Doomcock
again,
he's saying that, oh, dude.
So in the real
Jon
world,
Favreau
Kathleen Kennedy, her primary concern is that Star Wars makes money. But in nerd QAnon land,
Put a girl in it, make her gay.
apparently she was so angry that a season of Star Wars television was so successful and loved that she went out of her way to make the next show bad. I have lamented with many people that in the age of us knowing so much about how older movies were made, there's a lot of people who think they know way more about the industry than they do. And then they're putting chemicals in the water to turn Grogu gay when he eats the frogs.
Yeah.
You having fun, Kason? Are you having fun yet?
I am.
John
What I was gonna say, dude, so you know the whole dude. He's like what he was just saying about Jon Favreau. Like he's saying the same thing about Jon Favreau that people were saying about Donald Trump. They're like, oh, he's going in there and he's fighting the good fight, dude, and he's everybody else in the government's pedophiles.
Hillary
and he's
Clinton
there to
has
fight
an
'em off.
ankle boot on because she has an ankle monitor because she got arrested for eating those babies. It's literally nerd QAnon. I say that and people think I'm being hyperbolic. It's literally the fucking same.
Dude, like that was like word for word. Oh my god.
Oh, really was well on the road to saving Star Wars. And things never looked brighter than at the end of Mando Season 2. But Kennedy couldn't let that last. And now we come to Dave Filoni. Dave brilliantly conceived a plan years and years ago to use the world between worlds, the Veil of the Force, to erase the hated sequel trilogy and get things back on track. Years ago, I was tipped off from multiple sources that Filoni was going to do this, and the proof is in the pudding. The Veil of the Force was involved in Ahsoka Season 1, but something happened to Dave during those subsequent years. Apparently, he was seduced by the dark side of the KK. He lost his nerve, failed to pull the trigger on the world between worlds retcon, and with that one move, all hope for saving Star Wars was dashed because a universe where Luke Skywalker turns out to be a milk-sucking surrender monkey coward is not a universe I can be a fan of. And then, of course,
So the inability to watch a fucking movie aside, what is it, Dictor? Could John and Dave inexplicably get away with setting up the world between worlds to retcon the sequels? Or is Kathleen Kennedy so powerful that she could nuke it from a mile away? Now, again, I don't want to come off as though I am attributing language and terms to this that are too far flung and alarmist. But the reason why I get so caught up on this shit, what is the core element of fascist rhetoric? Your enemy has to be so deeply powerful with the ability to annihilate culture as you know it, but also so hapless and stupid and unable to actually be a worthy opponent that they are at once an existential threat and a self-apparent joke. A couple years ago, I may have said that, this kind of reactionary thought, lends itself to talking like a fascist. but it may not be intentional. I can't say that with a straight face confidently anymore.
Yeah, no.
But like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, he's literally talking about Kathleen Kennedy the way that fascist dictators talk about whatever outgroup they're using as a scapegoat to gin up some type of psychosis.
Yeah.
And then this is an episode where Doomcock does not use anti-Semitic dog whistles like cultural Marxism, which he has an innumerable amount of times. Fuck.
Help me. I saw Ahsoka, which pretty much settled the whole question of whether Dave Filoni was going to be the savior of Star Wars. That series was a dull and very badly written waste of time, full of women I wouldn't want to be stuck in an elevator with, much less a full season of shows. In short, it seems to me
Women aren't people unless I want to fuck them.
that Star Wars is screwed.
But also,
Now, I am hearing some other.
I mean, see, now that brings me to another place where it's like, if that is the case, and the women only matter if he wants to fuck them, like, what's wrong with Rosario Dawson, my dude?
It's like I don't want to validate you here.
I don't want to validate that opinion, but what is wrong with Rosario Dawson?
And Natasha Luberdizo. And
What is
Vanessa
wrong?
Marshall, or not Vanessa Marshall, Mary Elizabeth Winston. And the lady who plays Shin Hati, who's an incredible actor and is beautiful, whose name I can't remember how to say. It's like Ivanka, I can't remember her
Ivana
last name.
Sanko?
Ivana Sanko, thank you.
Yes. Yeah, like I
do just want to say, if I'm considering clipping this part of the episode out as its own video. If I do, this image of Doomcock is going to be in the thumbnail because he just looks so embarrassed.
Yes, 100%.
It looks like he put Doomcock in the corner.
Yeah, like Rosario Dawson's hot. Like I don't want to. I don't want to like objectify women and everything.
Yeah, you don't want to reduce this incredibly talented actor to her look.
All Rosario Dawson is because she's
also Rosario fucking Dawson.
Actor. Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. And like Mary Elizabeth Winstead too. Like I forget what first movie that I saw with Mary Elizabeth Winstead in it was, but I'm pretty sure that immediately upon seeing her, I was like, oh, crush instantly. So like,
was it Scott Pilgrim?
Yes, very good in Scott Pilgrim. I feel like there was something else that I saw her in before that, but I don't remember.
Am I crazy or is she in Sky High?
Ooh, she might be.
Bro, IMDb. I'm sorry. I know people love IMDb.
Yeah,
this website is ass. This website is ass. I can never use it. Hold on, I'm trying to find it.
Oh, 10 Cloverfield Lane, also good.
Yeah, she's Royal Pain in Sky High. That's what I thought.
Okay, yeah.
And we were kids. I don't know how old she was then, but I know we were kids, so we were allowed to be like, damn.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah. Anyway, back to our Supreme Overlord.
Oh, Final Destination.
To be fair, my friend Cameron Pashaw, for example, has some interesting things to say about what's going on behind the scenes at Lucasfilm. And to be fair, I'm going to present those views in another video, along with some potentially good news about all of this from a longtime source that could mean there is some hope here. And I'll bring you that view as well, folks. I just need to process and think about the various things I'm hearing from Cameron and my other source. But for right this minute, my knee-jerk reaction, I'm feeling deeply, deeply annoyed and extremely pessimistic about the future of Star Wars. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry.
You cannot convince me that you have anything meaningful to say as a pundit of any kind if you cap off all of your videos with "stay angry,"
Yeah, like what is that? Why?
and don't get me wrong, one of my favorite things about Doomcock is the way that he does these fucking Q drops. It's like, my sources at Lucasfilm have told me, and not a single fucking one of them has ever been true.
Yeah.
Just like Q. Just like Q. Just like Q. They had been saying for years, people at Lucasfilm are saying that they're going to retcon the sequel trilogy. They're going to save Star Wars from itself, from Kathleen Kennedy's evil feminazi grip. They just kept saying it. Just the same way the Q people kept saying, oh, it's happening. It's happening. All of the arrests are going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And then Trump would tweet something or say something. I'm like, see, this is proof. This is proof. And then when Grogu got picked up by Luke, this is proof. They're retconning it because the movie said that Ben Solo was Luke's first student. Nowhere did it fucking say that. And they're going to prove it because this is how it's going to happen. And no, you fucking dipshit.
Yeah.
Stay angry because you're going to be angry for your entire life if you think even a scintilla of this is true.
My whole thing is just like, why can't we just enjoy things? Like, why? Like, if you didn't enjoy it, then like, okay, cool, I'm sorry, but like,
Steele
enjoyed it.
Saunders, host of Steel Wars, once said, love Star Wars like a kid. Dislike Star Wars like an adult.
Yes. Like if you get into it, then get the fuck into it, dude. That's cool. That's what we do. That's why we're here right now.
Let these stories affect you the way they want to.
Yes.
And if it doesn't work, it wasn't a personal attack.
Right.
You fucking virgins. You
Like,
untouched fucking cucks.
Like
Jeez.
I teared up a little bit when Ezra came back in Ahsoka. Just because you didn't doesn't mean that I'm not valid or I have bad taste. Like, not everything is for everyone, and not everything's gonna work for everyone. And you see, yeah, okay, all right, we're going in on it. We're gonna go in on it. So my thing, all right,
yeah,
these dudes that are doing this thing, like that do this exact thing with the whole like
the fandom menace chuds.
Yeah, that stuff, like whether it be the fandom menace, like whether it be Star Wars related or comic related or even in actual politics, because that's what they do. These people, these motherfuckers do this thing where they're like, oh, you can't have everything you want. Oh, fuck your feelings. Well, you know, oh, you're a crybaby bitch boy, soy boy, whatever, you know? And then as soon as they don't like something, they're like, oh, it's a personal attack. It's like, shut the fuck up. It wasn't meant for you. It's not a personal attack because you didn't like it. I promise you that shit. If it was a personal attack, you would know it was a personal attack. This is a personal attack.
You look like Bane right now.
Look like what?
You look like Bane right now.
I was gonna try to. I don't even know. I was gonna be like, "Oh, you think the feminazis are your friends?" But yeah, I don't know. I just
real quick to cap. Sorry.
Yeah, no, go for it. Just the double standard is insane.
Real quick to cap this off. Now, I'm not going to say this with any amount of certainty because nobody knows for sure. And I can't remember the name of the video platform. I want to say it's either Rumble or BitChute, but I might be wrong. Like one of the right-wing YouTube clones.
Mm.
There is a channel. I can't remember its name. Where this guy in a mask and a costume with a super involved green screen where he does cutaway bits to other characters, all voiced by him, is constantly talking about all kinds of bizarre, anti-Semitic, straight up Nazi shit. Like Great Replacement shit.
Great.
There is a large contingent of the internet that is fully convinced that it's Doomcock.
Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me. He has the format down. He already has the format down. Bro, just literally just go change costume, go change setting on the green screen,
Yeah.
and then just pan to different cameras that have a different stuffed animal and a different something in a jar. Easy mode.
Different skull in a piss jar.
Yeah. I don't. It just every time, every time you show me something like this, I feel like I have the same reaction. Where I'm just like, at first, I'm like, and I just like sigh, and I'm like, how does this exist? And then I start to like realize like the workings of it a little bit, and I'm like, okay, I know why this exists, but fuck you. Why, don't. Like, just don't.
Someone pressed publish.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. And that's the thing I was getting at earlier.
And
where you
let's
asked me to be on
remember,
the
folks,
podcast.
an ad played on this video.
This is monetized. Are we monetized? Do we have ads playing on our videos?
We don't have
Not yet.
ads. We are on the cusp. We need like 40 subscribers.
Share this, tell
get-
your friends. Yeah. Okay. Listen.
to get
Why
like the
is-
first phase of monetization.
That dude's making money for that.
Kason, I saw so many super chats in that live stream.
That dude's making so much money for that. Like it. Share this video with your friends. Tell them to subscribe. Help us get to the first phase of monetization so that we can continue to build and maybe hopefully eventually get to past Doomcock's level so we can sun him very publicly. I mean, we're kind of doing so now, but like,
Yeah.
not as many eyes. If we get those eyes though, count on you guys.
So we come to the end of this, Jordan. Knowledge fight joke for Paco. How you feeling?
About just the Doomcock thing, or like with like
Mostly the Doomcock thing.
okay. I just that's where I was going with, like, when you asked me to be on the podcast, and I was like, I don't think I'm really qualified for that, but like, could be cool. We're just chit chatting about Star Wars. It's all opinion and things you notice, whatever. That's all cool and well and dandy. But like I was anxious to just like come on the show and just give like a little opinion and be like, "Hi, I think this is cool." But this dude's like, everything sucks. Women suck. Dave Filoni now sucks because he likes women. And he is confident enough to spend several hours editing that and producing that whole thing, and then also pressing upload. Although I will say this, not confident enough to do it without a whole get up though. Which, like, I don't want to be like, you're kind of a bitch, but like, if you're gonna say it with your chest, not with the fucking modulator, not with a mask, not with the fucking marching band suit on, whatever the fuck that thing is, dude. If you're gonna say
this bitch,
yes,
I will say, in a tepid defense of Doomcock, he does not have the voice changer on for live streams, but he still doesn't show his face.
all right. Does he sound? I need to know what he sounds like on live.
He sounds like Harvey Cthulhu.
Yep. Okay. As soon as I heard the Harvey Cthulhu voice,
A
I was
little
like,
less
this guy's-
nasally, but Harvey Cthulhu is pretty much his real voice.
Harvey
Cthulhu, a cryptid who's, after this video, also technically in a piss jar.
Yes. Both of his co-hosts are in a piss jar. That's crazy. As soon as I heard the Harvey Cthulhu voice, my brain immediately said, "This motherfucker sleeps with a Mikasa body pillow." This man is your average Redditor. He's a fedora wearer, an avid fedora wearer.
He has several fedoras.
Several fedoras. He has one whole closet that is just fedoras, I would imagine.